They parade the same galaxy of stars, but Paul Rose for £30,000 has been bought by 982. They parade the same galaxy of stars, but Paul Rose for £30,000 has been bought by coach Arthur Bunting from Hull Kingston Rovers. And what a surprise to see Steve Norton, international superstar, on substitute at number 15. Keith Bridges there, signed from Bradford Northern, the experienced hooker. A lot of pressure on that man today to win the ball for Hull's backs. And Bradford, lacking the experienced Redfern brothers, rely very, very heavily on youthful talent in Keith Whiteman and Dean Carroll as half-backs. They'll have to take the advantages of Jeff Gresham, the captain's ball-playing skills. But if any experience is needed, international full-back Keith Mumby, he'll be the man to settle these young lads down. You see him having a word with them already. And referee Stan Wall from Lee, refereeing his first Yorkshire Cup final, gets us underway. And away we go with Bradford playing from right to left in the white shirts and red, amber and black hoops, bringing the ball away. Jeff Gresham using his bulk and his weight to get through. I have with me Alec Murphy once again. Well, Alec, rather a sensational move with Steve Norton on the substitutes bench.
Well, it just shows you what a glittering array of talent they've got at Hull, because to leave a person like Steve Norton out the side, many other teams would be wanting to play him all the time, but I have heard a little whisper that he's not 100% fit, and this is the problem why he's been left out. Plus that Mick Crane has been playing exceptionally well. There's Steve Norton, he's just hiding by the lad with the dark glasses on, and he'll be wishing that he was back in this game, because he doesn't like sitting on that bench.
One man who has made a better start this season, David Topless, who unfortunately was patched up for the beginning of last season. But as skipper, he'll certainly be wanting to power Hull again to another season. David Topless, who did so well in that marvellous cup replay at Ellen Road last season. Skipper once again, he'll be looking for another trophy today. Well, there's a struggle, and Harkin's got it. Terry Day. Top it over, a good crunching tackle. Good crunching tackle there from Bradford number 12, Dick Jazovic. These forwards still softening each other up. And there's a lot of poundage there to soften up. Topless again, hanging out wide. And referee Stan Wall adjudges a knockout. Well, James Lulai, number 4 there, looks a little bit quizzical, as if it wasn't a knock-on, but I think referee Stan Wall can assure him of that. And Bradford, Dean Carroll to put the ball in. Lee Crooks. Inside the Bradford 25. Crane. Oh, a lovely ball. Sends Paul Rose through. Well, that man was bought from Hull Kingston Rovers for £30,000 to do just that job. And he does it, and he does more by tapping it to himself and scoring. Well, 10 minutes gone. And that man recently transferred across the city of Hull for £30,000, and he's already on the way to paying something back. On the 25-yard line, but well out to the touchline. Well known for his point-scoring tally last season. Only 19 years of age, this Lee Crooks, but what a mature personality he has. Takes these games in his stride. Scored in every game so far this season. It's high. try, but he's not got the direction.
Well, it all started from this quick play the ball. A good ball from Mick Crane. Just watch this ball of David Toppers. And Mick Crane again. And Paul Rose absolutely powers on this ball. But what a tackle from Keith Mumby. But good thinking again. The game's not stopped. He's caught him unawares. Tapped it to himself. And over he goes. Good quick thinking. A good try.
Gary Hale looking for support. A lot of youngsters in this Bradford side. They've had great difficulty in scoring tries this season. In fact, they've only scored 15 tries in all season, but they're a very difficult side to score against. Scrum's already in Hull's favour by 3-2. Gary Hale, oh, a lovely ball, well backed up by Dean Carroll. Keith Mumby, well, that was good into play. And there's that man, Keith Mumby, attacking again. Brian Noble, very good hooker in the loose, as well as being a good hooker in the scrums. This was the man that Keith Bridges kept out of the side last season. 3 yards from that Hull line. Carroll. Jeff Gratian indicating where he wants that ball. Oh, and a good tackle there. A good tackle once again indicating this Hull defence. Scrum. Peter Fox still looking relaxed, still looking quite cool. Scrum 5 yards from this Hull line. There'll be a lot of rivalry between these two front rows, particularly these two hookers, Brian Noble and Keith Bridges. It's the master versus the apprentice this afternoon, and certainly the old master won't want to be upstaged. And it's a penalty, a differential penalty. A kick to Bradford. Once again, they can have the opportunity of tapping the ball on the spot or kicking it to touch, and they elect to tap it on the spot. This whole defence coming up very, very quickly, not giving the Bradford forwards much time to get moving. 3 yards from the Hull line. Dean Carroll. Oh, a complete miss. Brian Noble. Well, Bradford have lost ground. They're standing still. They're not taking this ball on the burst. One of the prime features must be to be running when you take the pass. Whiteman, only a youngster, very, very highly rated. Sixth tackle coming up. Gratian. Oh, a nice chip through. But well retrieved by Steve Evans. Hull number 2 playing unusually on the wing this afternoon in the replacement for the injured Dane O'Hara, the New Zealand Test star. And a drop out beneath the posts. Keith Mumby. Brian Noble. Bradford have a tremendous record in this Yorkshire Cup final. This is their 13th final. And offside. Referee Stanwell not standing any messing this afternoon. He's maybe a little man, but he's a very firm man, and he handles these big men around him. 20 yards out to the left of the post. Oh, well, what a miss. He hooked it. Well, he hooked the man. Might well that spectator looking exasperated. So the score, 20 minutes gone, still remains Hull 3, Bradford 0. And what a miss. Gary Hale, Bradford still pursuing this policy of bringing these forwards, Hale, Jazovic, Gresham, down the middle, looking for the openings. Dean Carroll. Whiteman. Now this is the danger man. This is the man who can play the ball. There we had a good example. Here he is again, Jeff Gresham bidding for a test spot. Bradford keep inching towards that line. 6th tackle again. Alan. But no, there's no way through. Well, Jeff Gresham's certainly having a word with them. He says, come on, get yourselves behind me. And there's no doubting, but Bradford have been on attack now for a considerable while, but have nothing to show for it. It's Bradford's loose head, so they should have the advantage in this scrum, but Kevin Harkin to put the ball in. Bradford get it. This young lad at number 6 for Bradford, Keith Whiteman, he's only an ex-Colt, but he's already proving a handful. Oh! Well, once again, Bradford getting so near, but so far. And an offside decision against Bradford helps to relieve the whole line. Prendeville to kick to touch. You can't afford to give position and territory away like this. A man like Paul Prendeville, the whole number 5, will put you back 30-40 yards with a kick to touch. Oh, and a good drive from Trevor Skerritt. It's nice to see Trevor Skerritt back in action again. Suffered a broken hand about 4 weeks ago and made a tremendous recovery. Topless. Well, that is a wild ball, but well picked up by James Lulai. He'll not want those balls round his ankles so much this afternoon. Terry Day. At the moment, David Topless, the whole captain, seems to be running around not to too much effect in midfield. 25 minutes gone, Hull still in the lead, 3 points to 0. Just inching their way into that Bradford 25. Scrums already even, 3 each. What a penalty. Differential penalty, Terry Day. He's a big lad, is this Terry Day. They use him as a blockbuster going down the middle. Lee Crooks. 5 yards from that Hull line. Crane, Topless. Launching Paul Rose again. On a lovely pass. And out to Prendeville. And he picks his spot. Well, once again, that was Paul Rose coming in at the right time. Lulai only had to take it. And Paul Prendeville to put it down.
Again, notice this, David Topless, Mick Crane, Paul Rose, Bang, James Lulai, and doesn't Paul Prendeville take this well? He's very lucky to get that, and he does well to score a try. A good try of Paul Prendeville.
It's in a similar position to his first attempt. It's high, but once again lacks the direction. And so the score still remains at Hull 6 points, Bradford 0. Bradford ball. Lesgans. Oh, and a good break from Lesgans. But an equally good tackle across field by Steve Evans, Hull number 2. Steve Pullen, first touch of the ball for this youngster. Another ex-Yorkshire Colt. Gary Van Bellen. Hale, nice run around movement. Keith Whiteman. Significant that these two half-backs, Keith Whiteman and Dean Carroll, are having to come back in field. There's no way around this full cover defence. And a drop goal from Dean Carroll. It's his fourth this season. He's something of an expert at it, but it's significant that that drop goal shows there's no way through this whole defence at the moment.
This is a very interesting drop goal from Neil Carroll, because he's had two bad attempts with two goal kicks. Bradford need the points.
Referee Stanwell's not happy. He signals over his head that he wants another scrum. I think that scrum took him by surprise, and Dean Carroll had the ball in, trying to pinch a move on him before he knew where he was.
If you look at Dean Carroll, how quickly he's throwing the ball in, because if you give Keith Bridges plenty of time to sackle in that scrum, he will have problems.
Well, he was lucky to get hold of that, was young Carroll. Oh, and a lovely move from Gary Hale. He's got Keith Whiteman with him. Steve Evans. He's over. Well, what a try out of the blue. Mighty raised his hand in the air. This young Bradford colt, playing in one of the biggest games of his life to date, has brought Bradford back into this game.
Well, what a magnificent break this is. Just watch this for Gary Hale. Bang, straight through two tackles. And isn't this good covering? Holds on, waits for Gary Campbell, holds the ball, direct. Now, isn't his young boy just stride out here? He has to be scored. He's got Evans, and just managed to drive over. What a very good try indeed.
Slots it neatly between the posts, and at 6 points each, my word, we're back into the game. And how crucial was that earlier miss by Dean Carroll? A minute to go, still anybody's game. Bradford 6, Hull 6, and very evenly balanced. A costly slip. That gives Hull the ball on the 25. They'll be hoping to go into something now just before this half-time. Topless. Lee Crooks having an attempted drop. And it's that attempted drop goal from Lee Crooks goes over between the posts, and it all came from that lost ball from Gary Van Bellen.
Time to score a try. Lee Crooks, calmly, coolly, just kicks the ball between the sticks and sends his side 1 point up.
And at half-time, Hull still only in the lead by 1 point, having seemingly been coasting away with the game. We've certainly got a second half on our hands now. Bradford trailing by a point, kicking off the second half, with Hull to receive in the famous black and white stripes, Gary Campbell to bring the ball away. Hull really should be looking to open out play in this half. The classy three-quarter line has not too often been brought into view. They don't want to get tangled in a midfield forward battle with this very heavy Bradford pack. And a penalty there against Gary Van Bellen for stealing the ball when the referee has shouted hell. A very contentious penalty this, Alec. There's a lot of controversy about this in the game.
Well, it's one of those penalties which nobody agree with. The opposing side think they should have it, and the defending side think they should have it. But I'd like to have been a fly on the wall in the whole dressing room at half-time because certainly that some of the Hull players seem to, after 6 points lead, gone to be a little bit complacent, and Arthur Bunting will have straightened that out, I would think.
Jeff Gratian, he seems to be the only forward on the field at the moment who can make that half break or who can put that defence-splitting pass out. Both sides are seeming to cancel each other out. And the sixth tackle.
Well, I don't think Hull are really having this game all their own way. One or two of the players look a little bit heavy-legged, and David Topless, who should be running his show, seems to be content in just floating the ball out and letting other people do the work. But I'm sure we need a flash of genius from somebody like him.
Bradford well on top in the scrums by 8-6 so far. That's the first scrum for Hull in this half, in fact. What a penalty against Jeff Gratian, striking in the tackle. Recently suspended, but looking fit this afternoon. He's playing a prominent part in that Bradford front row. He's not only winning the scrums, but he's putting the ball to good effect when he gets it. Mick Crane, Hull number 13, playing instead of international Steve Norton. Charlie Stone, now can Hull raise themselves. Crane, Paul Rose. Crane again. Stone. Kevin Harkin. Well, Hull stayed at Harrogate overnight to get together and have the fresh air, but there doesn't seem much in them. But Lee Crooks has brought them back again with another drop goal. And what a timely drop goal that was. Gives Hull that crucial 2 points lead after 13 minutes of the second half.
Well, Bradford will feel a little bit disappointed. There's no drop goal on, but doesn't this lad take these kind of chances well? And there's no problem with that going straight between the H's.
Charlie Stone. We've seen very, very few forward breaks. Most of the tackling, particularly from these two respective back three forwards, has been very, very strong, very, very keen. Oh, but a very good crunching tackle from Keith Mumby. I'm sure David Topless will feel that in the bath afterwards.
Just made a comment about a big person like David Topless making a break like that, but can assure you that if he runs into a tackle like that once in a match, he certainly won't want any of those.
And there's Steve Norton, rather a mystery as to why he was on the substitute bench, but I'm sure this whole crowd will raise a cheer now that they see his reappearance on the field, having taken the place of Mick Crane. If any man can raise Hull's game, this Hull number 15 can do, and he's in the play almost immediately. There he is again. Paul Rose, Gary Kemble, and suddenly there looks a snap in Hull's play. Hull pressing, Stone, 5 yards from the Bradford line. Lee Crooks, he's going over. No, he's pushed back. Norton again. Oh, well, you don't run into the side of a house like Jeff Gratian very often. Trevor Skerritt, well, what a cheeky kick from a prop forward. Very cheeky kick from number 8, Trevor Skerritt. Thinking forward, sees them no way through, little chip kick, nearly came off.
Well, what's this for a prop forward? There's not many does this. He thinks about it. A lovely little grubber kick. And he's very unlucky not to score. A timely clearance from the old centre.
Good kick from Keith Mumby. Puts Bradford back on the attack. 20 minutes to go. Jeff Gratian leading this Bradford pack once again. Gary Van Bellen. Another crunching tackle from number 10, Charlie Stone. Both these two forwards, 9 and 10 for Hull. Well, Charlie's having a word with him. He says, leave him to me. Keith Whiteman, good intervention. Alan Parker. Well covered by Paul Prenderville, sensing the break there, but it's Bradford on the attack. This man, Gary Hale, Bradford number 13, an ex-centre, having a fine game, finding the gaps, loose forward, and there's another attempt at drop, and Dean Carroll puts yet another drop goal over to bring Bradford back in the game, only 1 point behind now at 8-7.
Well, Bradford's had lots of opportunity to do this, and Dean Carroll has no option but to bang one over. 8-7, they're right back in this game.
Dean Carroll to put the ball in. And put up against the Bradford hooker, Brian Noel. Keith Harkin, number 7 there, in 2 minds as to whether to take a quick tap, but Paul Prenderville elects to put the ball into that corner. Keep Bradford pegged down there with 15 minutes left. That's good thinking. 1 point in it, 15 minutes to go. Hull will be looking to use all of these 6 tackles, 5 yards from the line. Trevor Skerritt, inching nearer, 1 yard. Now we're seeing something from this Hull chorus. Paul rolls and he's in, and what a beautiful ball from Steve Norton. Well, Steve Norton hasn't been on the field many minutes, took the ball in the right spot, and there's that man, 11 seasons with Hull KR, now at the boulevard to go over.
Well, this is what you call perfection. Just watch Stevie Norton. It's the running, it's the timing, and watch Paul Rose fly onto this ball. Perfect timing, and a good try, 2 tries for Paul Rose.
He certainly concentrates on the ball. His last look at the post, looks at the wind, where is it swirling, where is it blowing? And he judges everything. That flag signals another 2 points. And suddenly I think that black and white crowd sense a victory here. 13 points to 7 as Hull open up a crucial 6-point lead. Arcing, weaving, dodging, but there's no way through. And the touch judge intervenes. I think he's seen something. A little bit of a scuffle between Jeff Gratian and Kevin Harkin. I think Jeff Gratian saying, look at the size of him, he's not worth bothering about. But
well, I think Kevin Harkin makes a little bit more of this than what he should do. I think he's him who does Jeff Gratian a little bit. It's tit for tat. I don't think there's a lot in that.
Ball nicely nestling on his little heap of sand. It certainly gives him that loft in the ball. He certainly is able to power this ball to some height. About 20 yards out. And it smacks straight between the posts. Takes Hull further forward by 15 points to 7. And the touch judge is in again. I'm certain someone's been making a comment. Referee Stanwall having a word with him. Someone might have doubted Stanwall's parentage or something like that, but I'm very sure that Stan will stand no messing. It's Jeff Gratian being brought out again. Jeff looks down and says, "It's not me, sir. Couldn't be me, sir." But it is him. Graham Idle. Carroll. Trevor Skerritt. Can't quite get away. Coach Peter Fox making a last-ditch effort, bringing two Bradford substitutes on. 8 minutes to go. Norton, topless. Steve Evans. Yet another good tackle all round the legs this afternoon has been Keith Mumby. Norton. Oh, a lovely ball. Couldn't be taken by Paul Rowe, but that was a classic ball from Steve Norton. He delayed it, he held it, and then he put it to perfection.
Well, he had the tradesman. Just watch this. This is class. And Paul Rowe wouldn't know how to drop that. He put it right in his lap.
David Smith, Phil Sanderson coming on for numbers 5 and 10. Gary Van Bellen and Steve Pullen. Well, it's a last-minute gamble by Peter Fox. He knows he's got to do something. Perhaps a fresh injection might be the answer. Four minutes to go. Hull seemingly having a tight grip on this Yorkshire Cup final. Lee Crooks. Norton to topless. There he is following. Oh, but through it anywhere. And he's got it back. Play on, waves referee. Well picked up by Lee Crooks. Kevin Harkin. Terry Day. Oh, nicely round to Steve Evans. A good example of backing up. Steve Evans had come inside. Terry Day had gone outside. But he stayed with him, went round him. And as nice a try as we'll see.
What a difference from 5 minutes ago. Keith Harkin a little bit cheeky. Terry Day does well here, goes round the man, holds the ball, and Steve Evans, this try still got to be scored, and he just stretches over and right in the corner.
And a very difficult kick for Lee Crooks, right out on the touchline. Got the height, but no, not the direction. And so the score still remains at 18 points to 7 in Hull's favour. Peter Fox knows now, I think, that the game's all over. He said it would be difficult for his youngsters before we kicked off, and it has been. I think the difference in Hull 4 tries to Bradford's 1 reflects that speedier, classier backs. One thing at least Bradford can take home as consolation. Keith Mumby, the fullback number 1, named man of the match for his sterling defensive work. The whole crowd in good song now, urging their side on. Yet another cup in sight. And the 6th tackle. Well, Bradford beat Hull here at Headingley 20 years ago in the Yorkshire Cup final by 7 points to 2, but I'm afraid it doesn't look as though they're going to repeat that performance this afternoon. for interfering with the Bradford man playing the ball as we move into extra time. Keith Mumby, the man of the match for his defensive work, pushes Bradford deeper into the whole half. What a fine game he's had. He's been an example to some of these younger backs. There's the hooter. So Hull, 18 points to 7. Take away the Webster's Yorkshire Cup final, but what a difference that substitution made when 20 minutes from time Steve Norton came on to transform the whole game. And Hull have carried on cup hunting where they left off at the back end of last season. David Topless, the Hull skipper, receives the Webster's Yorkshire Cup by beating Bradford Northern 18 points to 7. Mr. John Jagger, the presenter in the background, the managing director and the sponsors. And what a fine victory, Hull, already letting everyone know that they're back into season 1982-83 to take up where they left off.